Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro announces a second cryptocurrency within the same week as its first. XRB Nano shooting through the roof in a sea of red. Telegram wants the better part of $2 billion for its ICO. I'm your host, Elio Trades. You're watching FUD TV, and we got your three biggest headlines in the crypto space starting right now. We recently heard that Nicolas Maduro was about to launch the Petro crypto, which would be backed by the nation's oil and gold reserves. Except now we're actually just getting oil reserves, and it turns out that the Petro is just going to be oil, and they're introducing the Petro Gold, which is going to be backed by precious metals. This is part of Nicolas Maduro's plan to launch an economic war with the United States, yet it is very confusing to investors who have struggled to understand how cryptocurrency can come to represent traditional assets like gold and precious metals, even though tokenizing traditional securities and economies is becoming a hot topic in the cryptocurrency space. This is certainly not the way that I think a lot of people imagined it going down. The Petro Gold is going to launch very soon, supposedly even next week. This comes as Venezuela is facing one of the most significant recessions that they've been in years. So any move by the Venezuelan government to bring a bit more economic growth to the region has got to be viewed through the lens of revitalizing the economy, which is not doing well. We've also gotten word here on FUD TV that Nicolas Maduro is trying to require that all services and goods can be purchased with this Petro crypto, and furthermore, he has decided that all cryptos need to be accepted by everyone to the extent possible. This is almost a bit insane. I'm really bullish on long-term adoption of cryptocurrencies. I just simply didn't imagine it happening this way. Encrypted messaging app Telegram has been all the rage in the cryptocurrency community for sharing information, coin tips, creating private chat groups, and all of the things that you would need to do to communicate with a bit of privacy in this industry. Now they've obviously set out their ICO with an $850 million pre-sale, but it turns out that they're extending that to $1.6 billion and potentially even more. This is absolutely stunning. It is an over $1 billion ICO, and it is one of the largest in the history of the cryptocurrency space. If you don't know about Telegram, it was started by a Russian entrepreneur named Pavel Durov. So obviously what the biggest concerning part about this ICO is the sheer size of the raise. Raising almost $2 billion for an ICO just seems unbelievable, way too much money for a lot of investors, and most of the complaints come with the way that the ICO has been running. There's been a tremendous amount of secrecy and a lack of transparency, and there's a big capital group like Pantera, which is saying things like, it's very important to have an open process when you're developing these things, because if you don't have an open process, you don't subject your technology to peer review, there could be a gaping hole of vulnerability that leads to a massive hack and a massive disruption of the blockchain world. Just like we've seen with other different technologies that had vulnerabilities, this could be a big issue. So some investors might be rushing out because it's obvious Telegram's a big name, a recognizable name, but others are staying very much so reserved on the sidelines, and we'll definitely be keeping you up to date as we get more details about what is a very, very big story emerging in the ICO space. Beyond having incredible growth over the last few days, despite there being mostly a sea of red in the cryptocurrency market, we're seeing XRB Nano respond tremendously to a ton of FUD and misinformation around its product. Obviously, the Big Grail hack was devastating to the Nano community, but we're seeing day over day geometric growth out of Nano, and now there is even the theory that Nano might be being used for micropayments and tipping on Twitch. If this is the case, it seems like this has once been accomplished at least. If this becomes the case, that it becomes a common tipping mechanism for live streaming such as Twitch, which is one of the most active live streaming networks in the world, and it probably will continue to be for decades, well, that could be massive, and that could be single-handedly something that changes Nano's trajectory for the entirety of its future. Obviously, Nano has promising tech, but the whole question is adoption, and if it's being used for feeless tipping, much in the way that Gifto will be, then this spells massive growth, massive adoption, and Twitch has what? Billions of dollars in transactions going through it every year? Craziness. This is craziness. If this gets adopted as a Twitch tipping mechanism, the sky is not even the limit. It's beyond that. It's the moon, it's the universe. Who cares? Nano's going places, guys, places. So, what do we think about this? Obviously, it's very much so unconfirmed. This is very much so still speculation, but we're seeing Nano respond to tons of FUD, tons of misinformation, a big hack, and we're seeing it rise from the ashes here very, very strong. We even heard rumors about Apple Pay This is dope, guys. This is huge. This is not a small piece of news, and Nano is showing that it could be one of the titans of the future. Keep it in your back pocket. If you don't have a little bit of Nano, I don't know, maybe it's going up. I don't know if it's going to dip back down. The market didn't seem to pull it back down this time, so who knows? Nano might be headed back up for the duration. We don't know where this is headed. No one can tell you the future, but it certainly looks good for the XRB Nano crew. Thank you, FUD Nation, for watching this episode of Crypto 3. If you enjoyed it, please smash that like button, leave us a comment, and don't forget to share the content. Once again, we're not financial advisors. Everything you've heard today is our opinion, but we thank you so much for being with us, and we'll catch you on the next episode of FUD TV. I'm your host, Elio Trades, out.